Hey everyone, Victor is here, and in this video I want to talk about two terms that a lot of students confuse. That is chemoselective and regioselective. And while it might seem like there is not much difference between them, there is actually a very important distinction between those two terms and what they mean. Let me illustrate it with an example. Let's look at this reaction between 1-hexene and hydrogen bromide. This is your typical first semester electrophilic addition to alkene stuff. There are two possible products here. One, where we end up with the bromine atom on the second carbon, which is the more substituted one in this case, and there is the other one, where the bromine ends up on the less substituted primary atom. If you are familiar with this reaction, you'd know that the first product is our major product, while the second one is not likely to form in any appreciable quantity. So in theory, we can make either of these two possible products. In practice, however, we only end up with one. This is an example of a regioselective reaction. You might remember terms like Markovnikov rule or anti-Markovnikov product or Zaitsev product or maybe even Hoffman product and things like that. So whenever you are hearing any of those terms, these are all examples of reactions showing regioselectivity. So if you have a situation where you have one functional group giving you multiple similar products like, let's say, I don't know, halides or alkenes or something like that, but only one of those is a major product, you're looking at the regioselective reaction. Now, when it comes to chemoselective, it is an entirely different classification. So, for instance, here I have a reaction between this unsaturated ketone and sodium borohydride, and my starting material has two different functional groups. We have an alkene functional group, and we also have a ketone functional group. And while both of those functional groups contain the pi bond, our sodium borohydride will only react with one of those functional groups, namely a ketone, yielding, at the end, the corresponding alcohol. And notice how the alkene in this case, that functional group stayed unchanged. So when you have a situation where you start with two or maybe even more different functional groups, but only one of those functional group reacts giving you a product while the other one stays unchanged, well, in that case, you are looking at the chemoselective reaction. And an important thing here to keep in mind is that those two terms are not mutually exclusive. Reaction can be both regio and chemoselective because those two terms describe completely different things. Think about it like this. If you have a choice between, let's say, a chocolate bar and a handful of gummy bears, and you can only pick one of those, you're being chemoselective. But if you can only have your chocolate bar and that's it, and your only choice is which side to bite first, well, in that case, you are regioselective. And this is the difference between those two terms. Easy peasy. And as always, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I will see you next time.